It is with great pleasure that I'm joined by two members of New Zealand's biggest and best rock bands going at the moment, Villainy. Tom Watts, lead guitarist, and Neil Fraser, guitarist and vocalist for Villainy. Thank you so much for making some time to have a chat with myself and Crannk. I really do appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
First off, congratulations on your recent award for Best Rock Album with Raised in the Dark at the recent New Zealand Music Awards.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a buzz to bring that one home again. Really cool.
Yeah, I believe that's your third in as many albums. Am I right?
It is. Yeah, it's our third from 3 albums, which is fucking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that feel when you got that nod and for the night then?
It was great for us. Like, I mean, yeah, it's one of those situations where you don't go, you don't start a band in order to, win awards. You do it because you've got something that you want to express, and you like making music with your mates. And so the fact that we've managed to kind of hit this kind of sweet zone where the collective of the 4 of us working together are able to produce something that's, of a level where we're, even just not being nominated alongside, some of the bands that are there is great. And then to, win multiple times. So good. And then also to be invited to, to play at the actual awards. That was a massive, massive buzz.
Yeah, and one of your members had a broken arm, I believe.
He did, and somehow he managed to play bass. I don't know how that happened.
No. Was his brother stood in for him, wasn't it?
His cousin,
Yeah. He had an affected tendon in his hand, and so the awards were on Thursday, and on the Sunday before that, he just sent us all a message being like, I've just got a small thing with my hand. I might miss practice this Sunday, but I'll be all good for the next day. And the next thing we hear, he's in the hospital. He's having multiple rounds of surgery. He ended up having like 4 rounds of surgery. I mean, this is kind of gross, but he had to have the fluid drained out of his hand 4 times. It was that gross. I've got no idea how this happened or what kind of level of hygiene he's running, but it was not a healthy hand there for a little while. Unfortunately, he's mending up really well for this tour, but it was pretty gross for a time being there.
No, that's awesome. He's checked himself back in the hospital straight after too, eh?
Pretty much, yeah, literally. But he couldn't even watch us play, which is a bummer for him.
Yeah. So you're both guitarists. Can I go way back and ask how you first started playing guitar? Maybe start with you, Tom, your lead guitarist.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
I heard bass guitarist. Yeah, totally. For me, I started playing guitar when I was about 12. I think I just discovered rock music and kind of like figured out that guitars are the fun part of it. So I got like a $300 Fender knockoff and started learning like Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson and stuff like that, and grew from there.
I got my first guitar when I was 6. It was a weird acoustic guitar, and the thing I found out when I was 6 was that if you played the right chords to the people around you, and you started singing, all of a sudden everyone kind of joins in and you become the coolest person in the room. And I've basically ridden that whole ethos my entire life.
Tom is always the coolest person in the room.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. No, but like you get the chords in the right order and you get the right lyrics for it, you can make people feel things, which is amazing. What an absolute privilege. And guitars are so such a. I'd say at the moment, with the amount of EDM that exists around, also an underrated instrument at the moment. Yeah,
definitely. It's unreal because it's really cool. So you picked up guitar and then you took on the vocals too. Because I've interviewed quite a lot of guitarist vocalists, and that's how they've all started pretty well. They picked up guitar first and just slapped in the vocals as well to go along with it. It just seemed to fit really well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know, like even from a really young age, I always wanted to perform and I always wanted to sing. And guitar was kind of just like a method and a way to kind of get there. As Tom was saying, like, once you figure out that you can sing and play something, it kind of just changes the entire dynamic, and you start to write music and you kind of figure out how that whole thing works.
Yeah, well, you guys are unreal. I only just come across you guys in the last few months, and I had to go back and check out your whole back catalogue, and I'm like,
awesome.
Where have I been? That's why I love doing what I'm doing, talking to bands like you, because guys like you come across my desk, and it just blows me away. Can I ask how you approach the songwriting and the song composition for your most recent album?
So on this one, we took a bit of a different process to the last two records, and we wrote, what was the number, Tom? 107 songs?
It was 107 songs, 107 complete songs.
Wow.
And so the whole thing with writing 107 songs was that we just wanted to have as much material that we'd kind of work through. You basically you get the idea down, and you move on. And once you've got that breadth of material, then you come back and you listen with fresh ears. This is what happens a lot of the time, even on our first albums, that we'd start, you'd play a song and then you'd play it and play it and play it again, and you kind of lose track of whether it's actually any good. You know what I mean? So the whole process for us of having that massive breadth of material is that the best songs really, they stuck out, because they were the ones that when you kind of came back around and listened to them, those were the ones that, really resonated, whether that be like, a particularly good riff or a chorus hook or, whatever it was, those songs, stuck out. And so that process was, let's be honest, horrifically punishing, because 107 songs is a whole lot of material to kind of crank out and, and work through. But the result out the other side, I think, really spoke for itself in terms of the breadth and the diversity of the material as well.
Yep.
Yeah, you get these weird moments where you're listening to sorry, man.
No, you go.
I was going to say, you get these weird moments where you're listening to song number 12 of 107, you're like, I didn't remember writing that. I didn't know that we wrote that. And I didn't know that was our tune, but it's fucking cool. So that kind of that weird sort of detachment from your own material, which comes along with just having that much.
Yeah. And a bit of a different question. For that track, IFXS, how many snakes did the rest of the band eat? And did you actually avoid getting into any of them? Or
Well, James was definitely in that. We shot it in a food court over on the North Shore of Auckland, and I remember we were cleaning up because they were all stuck to the floor and the table and all the shit. But James was in the bathroom, vomiting pretty wildly. He always seems to be the one that gets punished. Actually, he's vomiting or he's infecting his hands. Or I was given the job of being the guy who wrangled all the snakes, and so there were, that video's got 32 kilos of no, not 32. I think it's maybe 29 kilos of snakes on the table. And it's actually really hard to find that many snakes. And so we were shooting this video. That was literally just a friend with a camera. It's not it looks really good, but wasn't a very large budget, not a very large crew. It's a crew of one. And so literally, I ended up having to meet a candy wholesaler on just the side of the motorway. He got off on an off ramp. I got off at an off ramp. We met there. It was literally like making a drug deal, but it was literally he just opened up the boot of his car. I got all the snakes, moved them into my car, and then we left. Because that's what you need to do to get that many snakes. I actually thought you were making a drug deal, and I was really disappointed when you showed up with candy.
When he showed up with a whole heap of snakes and that. Here you go, guys. Guess what? These are all going to be eating this while I'm singing. That's really cool. So 3 awards, 3 albums. Do you mind if we go back through from Mode, Set, Clear, Dead Sight to Race in the Dark, and you both pick a favourite track off each album, and why?
Oh, let's go. So Mode, Set, Clear. I reckon, kind of like a cliched answer from, but I reckon, the track that stood the test of time, especially the first track that we recorded for it, Alligator Skin, is the one that stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favourite is the title track, Mode, Set, Clear. It's a some of the more fun riff work, kind of things. I'm a bit of a riff bloody nerd. And yeah, that song we played it. It's one of those ones. It's kind of like a deep cut. It was never a single, but on like the last tour that we did, which sold out, which was rad. But you had all of these kind of old school fans that were kind of coming back in, and we played that song across the tour, and that was one of my favorite moments. That was one of the ones that everyone in the crowd who had been with us since that very first album was like a special treat for them. So that's why that song was my favorite off that album.
Oh, great.
And Dead Sight, Neil, what's your favourite off Dead Sight?
Yeah, Dead Sight. My favourite's probably a track called The National Guard.
Yep.
Kind of like it's a pretty different song for us. It's almost got like this kind of like trip hoppy kind of beat. It's pretty mellow, but it's it's super dense. And Sam K, our mixer, did like an incredible job of just kind of like painting these soundscapes around it. And it's a cool song to play live. I don't think, unfortunately, we'll play it on this tour. Because we just want to play some straight up rock bangers, but it's always been a cool moment in the set, and just like a piece of music that I'm really proud of.
Nice. Speaking of rock bangers, my favorite track off that album is the track number 1, which is "Give Up the Ghost," which was that's a song that we will be playing, which is this. We transferred down to from playing standard guitars down to baritones on the second record, so the baritones have got like an extra 4 notes lower than what we had. So it's just the first sound of that album is just so deep and cavernous, and it's just a really stonking fun song to play live. And so we'll be whipping that one out.
Looking forward. Speaking of live, you guys set to come down to Australia with Halestorm in December, eh?
Yeah, yeah, mate. Yeah.
So you're playing New Zealand and Australia? Yeah, is it your first time in Australia, or?
No, we last played about 2016 or thereabouts. So it's been a really long time, but it's going to be awesome to get over, and play with a band of their caliber as well. They're an amazing live band, and of course we're playing some pretty wicked rooms as well.
Nice. So you guys have also played some pretty cool tours and that. What's your best highlight so far playing?
Well, I guess tour-wise, outside of our own shows, the AC/DC run was a pretty surreal experience, doing stadiums to 30,000, 40,000 people or whatever it was.
Pretty nuts. Huge.
And then on our own ones, this last tour we did in New Zealand was fully sold out. Which was pretty mental, and meant that we got to play some classic rooms like the Power Station, which everyone under the sun has headlined over the years. It's one of those rooms that's been there since I think the 80s. Everyone's been through there, so to sell that room out and have it be ours for a night was a pretty awesome experience.
Yeah, awesome. I'm really looking forward to catching you guys. I'm actually going to see you guys in Adelaide of South Australia. I'll be
good old Adelaide, epic.
Yeah, good old Adelaide. We're still getting some shows down here. It's good when guys like you come over. I'm really excited about seeing you guys in Halestorm. Thank you for making some time to have a chat with Crannk, and congratulations on your recent rock award for Best Rock Album at the New Zealand Music Awards, Thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you in December.
Sure.
So everyone, get out there, crank up some Villainy, and catch them on tour. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Rad.
No.